Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and as you guys all saw, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Washington football team 30-15. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my analysis and a game recap and kind of a rant at the end of the video. So if you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. So like I said, 30-15, really, we went for it on two twice, so really it could have been 30-17, but that does not matter at all. This game started out ugly, and one of my keys to victory was make sure you start out strong or at least consistent. And they got off to a 20-0 lead on us, and you cannot come back from that at all. I thought the play calling in the first half was not good at all, and also guys, I just do not like fans in general. They're bashing Haskins, and yes, he didn't play the best in the first half, but the players around him and the offensive line were just terrible. Logan Thomas, he got targeted 9 times and he caught 4 passes for 26 yards. A couple of those, sure, there were overthrows, but almost every single one of those passes Logan Thomas got his hands on. He should have caught at least like 2 or 3 passes that he ended up dropping. And man, Dontrell Inman too. He had a pass where, Haskins threw it a little bit high, but it was definitely catchable. It hit both of his hands, and he should have easily caught that ball, and it ended up just dropping it. That was terrible. Haskins should have had like 5-6 more completions. It's just that players around him aren't making enough plays. He still ended up okay, 19 for 33, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. And that was pretty much my exact prediction for him. If you check out my stream from yesterday, Antonio Gibson ended up having a touchdown. But you know what lost us this game? Obviously how we started, but the turnovers absolutely killed us. We ended up, first, we gave them some good field position in the beginning, which got them to score on their first possession. That was one big thing that hurt us. And then on the next play, or on the next drive, Landon Collins makes a really good interception. We get the ball at around the 20. Haskins makes a completion, and we're at first and goal at the 9-yard line. And I was telling myself, man, I think Gibson just had a run. So I was like, a nice run. So I was just like, let's go run the ball again. But of course, Scott Turner, dials up a pass play, and our offensive line, the left side of our offensive line is just absolutely terrible, and Dwayne Haskins ends up fumbling the ball. Not his fault at all. He had no time this whole game and ends up fumbling the ball. So instead of, at least at the minimum, we were scoring 3 points on that play, we end up letting them score 7 points on that play. That absolutely killed us. You cannot have turnovers in the red zone, and that's all on the offensive line and the play calling, in my opinion. And then the very next drive, I do believe, we just forced them to punt, and then Steven Sims fumbles the punt. That was just so bad. 2 crucial turnovers, and you know what happens? They end up starting with the ball at the 40-yard line. So 2 turnovers that absolutely killed us, and the offense didn't help the defense out in the beginning when Arizona started with the ball in the 48. And, I think it should have been roughing the punter, or at least hitting the kicker, but they didn't call that, and that helped them get some better field position. Terry McLaurin was an absolute beast, 7 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. Also had a couple plays where he drew a pass interference, and that one on that slant route, if that guy would have done that pass interference, he would have probably been gone and scored a touchdown. AGG had his first catch when Steven Sims was out for a bit. He, made a nice catch. That was all okay. But Dontrell Inman was absolutely terrible, in my opinion. Logan Thomas, same thing. He played a little bit better than Dontrell Inman, maybe, but he has to come up with some of those catches. That is on him, not Haskins. Sure, some of it was Haskins' fault, but you have to come down with at least a couple of those catches. Now onto the defense. We'll talk about this. I think Kevin Pierre-Louis and John Bostic overall played really well. Jimmy Moreland's pretty interesting, so I want to go check. DeAndre Hopkins had 8 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown, but most of that came on Jimmy Moreland. But if you told me before the game that that DeAndre Hopkins would have 8 catches for 68 yards, I would absolutely take that. So I think Jimmy Moreland ended up playing good. He didn't allow any big plays for DeAndre Hopkins, and that touchdown was absolutely not on him. Most of the yards in the beginning, at least, were on Fabian Moreau, and then I think they switched Jimmy Moreland on to DeAndre Hopkins. So he did get burned a couple of times, but the good thing about him is he got burned a couple of times for like 15-yard gains, but then he immediately tackled DeAndre Hopkins. There was times where Fabian Moreau got beat, but he still wanted to make a play on the ball, and then the receiver ends up getting a 10, 15, 20-yard gain just because he tried to make a play on the ball when he shouldn't have. Chase Young ended up having a sack and a tackle for loss. I think he played really well, or pretty well. I think he played a lot better in the first half. Didn't do much in the second half, but overall, I mean, they had a lot of guys on him. And, I didn't really see the sack. It must have been when him and Daron Payne kind of got on that guy. Let me know if you guys saw that. John Bostic had a sack. He played pretty well. And Troy Apke, oh my God. Troy Apke, man, I'm going to have to start not listening to the media anymore. I know they were talking about it's only training camp, but he has played absolutely terrible these first two games. Absolutely terrible. Takes angles when it comes to tackling. He's probably one of the worst tacklers I've ever seen, and he got burnt a couple times, and yeah, just not good at all. I think they really need to consider starting Cameron Curl over him. I think he made some nice tackles, and when he was in coverage, he only allowed a couple yards. So I thought he played pretty well, and I would consider starting him over Troy Apke. Troy Apke gets burned way too much, and it just, and he can't tackle at all. So that's something I would monitor. And yeah, like I said earlier, I'll come back to the defense real quick, but our offensive line really needs to step it up. I hope Brandon Sheriff is okay. He did have a leg injury. It looked really bad, but they ended up saying he was questionable. So that right there is good news. Hopefully he's back, but he got sacked. Dwayne Haskins got sacked 4 times, but the pressure was a lot worse than that. I really think, we really need to help Dwayne Haskins out on the left side. Wes Schweitzer, I thought played okay. Didn't play that great right before the second half ended, but besides that, played all right. But Wes Martin and Jerron Christian just didn't play good at all. I guess I'll give Jerron Christian one more chance because, he's played against some pretty good pass rushers. But if he stinks it up again in week 3, you got to put Sadiq Charles in there. I would consider having Sadiq Charles as an active player next week and, putting him in if needed. But now back onto the defense. I thought, like I said, Kevin Pierre-Louis, John Bostic, Jimmy Moreland played all right. Landon Collins, mixed feelings. Obviously, that first touchdown that DeAndre Hopkins had, that was 110% on Landon Collins. He just let him walk right in the end zone, wasn't really aware of what was going on. That was on him. He made it up with a nice interception, and I guess he had a sack. Don't really remember that too much. But he also should have made some plays when it came to tackling. Didn't do that. Like I said, Chase Young played okay. Same thing with Jonathan Allen. I think the defensive line overall, though, did not play that well considering the offensive line that they were playing against. But something that is interesting is that this team only allowed 2 sacks last week to the 49ers. I thought, Darby played okay. Nothing too spectacular about him. Fabian Moreau I didn't like what he did today. Nothing great. I thought Tim Settle played pretty well. But yeah, one thing I can't believe I forgot. Gibson played really well. And same thing with J.D. McKissic, man. 6.6 yards per carry. Antonio Gibson had 4.2 yards per carry and a touchdown. I thought both of them played really well. I would like to see both of them get a little bit more carries. But overall, I think Gibson played pretty well, and same with McKissic. I would like to see McKissic get a little bit more carries. Also on defense, we just gave up way too many big-time plays. You look at it right here. DeAndre Hopkins, most of his, yards per catch, 8.5. That's pretty good. That's good that you're holding him to that. Andy Isabella, 33.5 yards per catch. That is unacceptable. Same thing with Christian Kirk. They allowed a 54-yard pass to him, a 49-yard pass. That's just unacceptable. Too many big plays and really, really cost this team. Anything else? Yeah, the turnovers killed us. Play calling needs to get better. I thought in the first half wasn't really good. Didn't give the ball to McKissic at all. And, what's with this, these running backs are going to get so many catches. It's going to be insane. Well, the only running back that got targeted at all was Antonio Gibson, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't necessarily love passing to running backs that much, but I think you do need to give it to them sometimes. But when your offensive coordinator and the media talks about this is going to be a huge part of the offense, passing to the running backs, well, that didn't happen today or last week. That needs to change if that's what you want to do. I think, that was a big time flaw today. But, overall, biggest takeaways, I thought Dwayne Haskins played okay. The players around him need to play better. I can't state this enough, man. Logan Thomas and Dontrell Inman need to step up. They can't drop as many passes as they did. Like I said earlier, Dwayne Haskins could have made some better throws on those plays, but at the end of the day, they got their hands on it. Kyler Murray absolutely killed us on the ground. What a game by him. Passing, he wasn't amazing. He was still pretty good, though. Their quarterback or passer rating was the exact same, Haskins and Murray, but man, what he did on the ground was absolutely insane. 2 touchdowns, 67 rushing yards. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about today's game. I will be making a video tomorrow on the 5 biggest takeaways. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And it was a tough game, but there are some bright spots, like I said. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissic, Haskins played all right, and Terry McLaurin and Chase Young. Peace.